Good names, strong names. I like this kind of.
There was a Bartholomew in those days. Definitely, I think it was a Maida House, wasn't it? There's Lord Bartholomew, but he's not a lord in this. He's just a Thomas. And you've got Oliver Marshall, which probably was a name. Certainly had Oliver's. Because you remember Oliver Cromwell.
Sounds legit, yeah.
Do you know of Oliver
So that's
Cromwell?
about 300 years after, but I'm sure they still had Olivers, didn't they? And then Harry, obviously, Harry is like a Henry. They had loads of Henrys. Medieval times, you had 6 or 7 Henrys, 8 Henrys, if you go a bit further. But this is Richard the Lionheart. So this is the 1100s. So, forts and sticks and catapults.
Yeah.
Catapults quite good in the 1100s. They're like, what's that?
Right.
Watch out.
Mm-hmm.
It's a flying rock. Yeah.
Any dragons?
There it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, dragons.
and it's hard as well.
Because they existed.
No, that's Game of
Dragons.
Thrones. We're not doing dragons.
I think they were a bit
Game
earlier
of Thrones
than
is based on
the
a
1100s.
true family.
I don't think it is.
Game of
It
Thrones.
is. Yeah, it's
a real.
factual.
It's a real book, but it's not.
No, Google it.
All he did was he drew the map of Britain and he slightly changed the names.
Well,
So
yeah,
he
exactly. It's very factual.
Lannister, Lancaster,
Yeah.
Stark, York.
Yeah.
They had a wall, Hadrian's Wall. Everyone above it is nuts, Scottish.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
That's accurate.
It's very
The
accurate.
wall's not quite
He
as
knows
big
his
as.
stuff.
But
No, have you
he
ever
went
been
in
there?
and changed
Yeah.
a lot.
You just
That's why it's
step over
fiction.
a couple of
You know,
rocks,
it's not. You can't say based. Anyway.
There's no dragons.
Yeah, we can agree to
Yeah,
disagree.
But
that was a joke.
But they're Welsh, aren't they? Like the Targaryen.
exactly.
Targaryen's like Welsh, isn't it? It's like a Welsh word.
Targaryen.
Targaryen.
Yeah.
That's like
It's a Welsh name.
Cardiff.
Cardiff.
I'm from Cardiff.
They didn't have
Targaryen.
anyone with a
Targaryen.
Welsh accent in that show.
They could have, couldn't
They
they?
could have, yeah.
No, they're all sort
Idiots,
of
really.
roughly English. American people playing English, wasn't it? Sort of.
Wasn't a thing.
Well, because
Yeah.
English is the only thing that happened in medieval times, which is inaccurate because most of them are speaking kind of an old French. Richard the Lionheart, who was a real person and is in this, only spoke French and never came to England for more than like a month.
Yeah,
Died
that's-
in
That's
Jerusalem.
fair
right?
enough.
Or on his way.
No, on his way. He died in France on his way back.
On his way back.
On
yeah.
his way back. Although we say back, I mean, he may never have come to England anyway, just been like, oh, I'm the king of that, but I'm also the king of Normandy, so I'm going to stay in Normandy.
Yeah.
Some guy accidentally shot him with an arrow, and, he's like, oh, he goes down, and
As he would.
and
yeah.
they're like, oh, the king's been shot by that guy. And the guy's like, oh, no, I didn't know it was the king. So they drag him down, and as the king's dying, he goes, oh, don't blame him, it's an honest mistake. And they're like, promise not to blame him. And all the guys standing around the king were like, well, he is. And then he dies, and then they're like, we're going to cut you into little pieces, which is exactly what they did. And that's a true story, that really happened.
Wow. So they went against the king's dying wishes.
They did,
Pretty
because
savage.
Well, that's
Vengeful.
blasphemy, really, isn't it?
Pretty
that's
savage.
exactly like blasphemy, yeah.
Yeah.
Because if the king and the god are like the same,
The king is just
the
one
king,
down
the
from
only
him.
man the king answers to is God.
Yes.
Only God.
Yes.
I will only. But I don't know if Richard the Lionheart will be in this. He's preparing. So let's death and taxes.
Does that mean we're French?
No, because whenever anybody does a medieval show, everybody's English and they
That's
speak
true.
English.
That's true.
They always
yeah.
Because even if they're in France, to France we go, and they're in France. So I'm in
RP.
Paris.
So yeah, just brush up on the
yeah.
RP.
Brush up.
Yeah.
on
I'm in
the-
Paris speaking to the King of France, and the King of France says, "Hello, I'm the King of France."
Yes.
That's kind of.
Although
right.
didn't Lord Watson try and do that?
He did a French
Did,
accent in The
yeah.
King, yeah.
Did he go? Did he be French?
He just looked.
Hello,
He
I am the
was
King of
strong.
France.
He was like, I am the king of France.
But he was,
And
but he
like his
did it
background noise.
English.
Did it
But,
pretty,
but
pretty
yeah,
well.
yeah.
I am the king of
Yeah, he
France.
did. He should have learned French. He should have done the whole thing.
Yeah, and just said stuff, and
He said stuff.
like to the English, and they were
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, and they would all be like,
yeah.
go to
But you have to be respectful. So you're like,
Yeah. Yeah. Like sometimes if I don't understand what you're saying, I'll kind of respectfully nod.
well,
If it feels like a different language.
I think that sounds like a you problem. Richard the Lionheart is preparing to go on his first crusade. He needs men and he needs money. That's the thing about crusades. You need both of those things.
Yeah.
This sits poorly with much of the nobility. How to keep their finest guardsmen for their own security, obviously. So you've got to look out for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
There are bandits about. And the better part of their coin. So he wants men and he wants money. That isn't popular.
Yeah.
But the crusade as an idea is popular because, you know, we've got to get those nasty people out of the Holy Land. So,
And it's backed by the Pope. And
oh, absolutely.
it's
He's
the front runner.
he's in on it.
Yeah.
He's like, you have to ask him. You have to say, Mr. Pope, can we do that? Oh, yes, definitely. We've got to get
100%.
Jerusalem back. It's not a
Murder
hard
those
sell.
people. Yeah, kill them. Let's do it.
If
Yeah.
they're not Christian. Yeah, you can convert them. Do you want to be a Christian?
Yeah.
No.
Mm.
Do you want to be a Christian? Yes. Maybe burn something of theirs after that.
Yeah.
I remember in church school, when I decided I didn't want to be a Christian, we played hide and seek in the dark and they never found me.
Was that on purpose?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like,
So I didn't want to be a
you
Christian.
said I don't want to be a Christian.
Yeah.
So we'll play hide and seek in the dark, and then you could hear them carrying on.
Yeah. Yeah. Children of no faith would just get left in the church in the dark.
In the dark.
And they'd have to find their own way home.
Really?
Yeah.
How far did you live from the church?
2 minutes.
Well, that wasn't
Did you
so
find
bad.
your way
But it
home?
felt like 20.
How old were you?
About 10, 9, 10.
It's a
Yeah,
bit,
it's quite
bit
tough.
shorter. So it took longer.
Yeah.
Smaller steps.
About 4, yeah.
They didn't lock you in the church as well, so it wasn't like, get out of this. Maybe if you were
Be
locked in,
surprised.
you'd find God. Because he's in
Yeah,
there,
that's
isn't he?
probably how they thought, wasn't it?
That's probably what they thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lord Castledrake is being visited by members
Right.
of the King's household, Thomas Bartholomew and Oliver Marshall. In order to relieve him of cash, the Lord's son Harry is also present. So let's give out these roles. Obviously, they're all men, so
Okay.
you will have to pretend.
Okay.
Lord
Just put my hair up or
Castledrake.
something I can feel a bit more manly.
Is that what? Yeah.
It's usually how I act, yeah.
Yeah. If you
If I
put your
change
hair
my
up,
hair, it kind of
is more
Different
manly.
vibe.
makes me feel just like a different person, really.
Masculinity
Yeah.
related to hair being up. I'm in trouble.
I mean, he's very masculine, isn't he? He's
It's so
kind of
far up. that
top of the
We
masculine
can't-
chain
it's
of
in the
hair.
That's the ultimate masculinity.
It's in the
You know
sky.
what I mean? Yeah, that's
It's
how
in the,
that's how it
disappeared.
works.
It's down the plug hole.
Wow.
Thomas. You feel like a Harry.
I understand that, yeah.
Oliver, Thomas, I'll be the Lord.
So
Okay.
Makes
that's your
sense.
son,
That's my son.
and we're here to collect your taxes.
And get money off you. Well, it's not really
And-
taxes. It's like,
Well,
could you
yes.
do us a favour? But you really do need to do that favour. You really do.
And we are both members of the king's household. Does one of
Okay.
us hold status over the other?
No, you're quite friendly. I mean, so you're not lords,
We're here.
but you go around together
Yeah.
and generally cause havoc in the king's
Nice.
name.
Okay.
So you're kind of
Bit right. Okay.
so
I feel like I
for
should have a
king.
moustache.
yeah.
Moustache. Solid.
Yeah.
Solid.
It starts with Thomas.
Oh. I thought I was Oliver.
Oh, I'm Thomas?
Yeah.
You're Thomas.
Oh, okay.
You're Oliver.
Apologies.
Yeah.
My lord, forgive me for the bluntness of my words, but time is short and Jerusalem is defiled by the day. Therefore, I must ask, when will you think of the realm?
You come into my house and insult me, sir? Well, it's 30 years ago. You'd lose your head, man of the king or not.
And what say you on this day?
He asks more than he knows, for a reason ill-considered.
Bringing the true word back to the Holy Land?
Not the dream, the attempt. Perhaps our king has forgot my story. Well, allow me to tell it to you, so you might relay it to him. 4 years I spent in Constantinople, travelling twice to Acre and once to Jerusalem. That land may have birthed the Prince of Peace, but it is no longer holy.
I am minded to believe you have given up on God by your words.
No, young Thomas, God has given up on Jerusalem.
I should run you through.
You'll do no such thing.
Harry stands tall and strong, his weapon unsheathed. Thomas is wary.
My father has shown you great courtesy. You would do well to show similar grace.
Swords drawn before the king's own men? Are we to return to our prince with empty hands?
No. I have given my oath of friendship and fealty to Richard. I will fulfill his command.
Father!
Enough, Hal. I can see the way the tide turns. It is just a pity. The king's council is derelict in its duty. Visit my treasurer. He shall furnish you.
My lord.
This man dances on the knife edge of reason, and when he is lost, these lands may be too.
The boy is quick to anger and extremity. He will be no friend to the crown. Mark it down, Oliver. These lands shall be the birthplace of treachery before long.
And he's marking it. Yeah. All right.
It's in the script, so.
Yep.
So I think, yeah, I mean, you know, for a first go, not bad.
Yeah.
But I think you'll notice that I was somewhere else to you a little bit. So it would be good if you came closer to me,
Okay.
because I'm not going to change.
Okay.
More villainous.
So do we just
Really,
Villainous.
because
Villain?
he's an
Okay.
antagonist. You are antagonists
Okay,
in
so
this.
then
You're not
okay.
kind of just guys who sort of
Okay.
go ask for stuff and write stuff
Mhm.
down. You're, if any, I mean, you're the goodest of all the good people here. But I'm kind of a good guy. So you've got to. Whereas I sounded like the bad guy
You
then.
did sound like the bad guy.
Yeah, it was like the voice thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's quite an
but that's
evil voice.
age. Because he's, well, I mean, he's probably only 50. But back then,
It's old.
50 was like.
Yeah.
Pretty old, yeah.
So let's give. So I'm 50.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You're 37.
Oof.
So 37 is like 57.
Yeah.
You're 40. So like 60.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it said young man, or is that just?
I said that to him, but
yeah.
that's
I see.
patronising. Plus, I am older than him. It's
Okay,
just sort of,
gotcha.
but you're not really.
Not
You know,
Bryony.
You wouldn't
I'm
be
not Harry.
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
it's like 18.
Poof.
Yeah. Jesus.
So you get more like it wouldn't be like 18 now. It's like,
Yeah,
oh, mum,
yeah.
where's the TV? You know.
You'd have killed people and
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Yeah, you'd have done
Yeah.
things.
That ages a person, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think what was it? You became you were a squire at 12 or something, and so
Yeah.
by the time you're 18, you were sort
You're
of
like
stabbing.
28.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
A boy, but a man.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
Yes. So, with that in mind, and remember that antagonism, you're
Yes.
coming for money. You can't
Yeah.
well, I wouldn't say you can't directly threaten me because you did, but there's not. If I was like no, you couldn't do anything there and then. You'd be like, oh, we'll be
We'll
back,
tell
and
the
then
king.
you
Yeah,
would
yeah,
be
yeah.
back. But the king doesn't necessarily want that. He would be like, no, get money off him. He'll moan about it because nobody wants to give their money and their men. But, you know, So it's a diplomatic dance. It's the kind of thing that, you know, lots of productions, lots of scripts try to do, but don't quite get right. And I think, you know, we need to get it right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we'll go again, and everybody feels a bit closer to what they need to do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lord Castledrake is being visited by members of the King's household, Thomas Bartholomew and Oliver Marshall, in order to relieve him of cash. The Lord's son Harry is also present.
My lord, forgive me for the bluntness of my words, but time is short and Jerusalem is defiled by the day. Therefore, I must ask, when will you think of the realm?
You come into my house and insult me, sir? For this 30 years ago, you'd lose your head, man of the king or not.
And what say you on this day?
He asks more than he knows, for a reason ill-considered.
Bringing the true word back to the Holy Land.
Not the dream, the attempt. Perhaps our king has forgot my story. Well, allow me to tell it to you so you might relate to him. 4 years I spent in Constantinople, travelling twice to Acre and once to Jerusalem. That land may have birthed the Prince of Peace, but it is no longer holy.
I am minded to believe you have given up on God by your words.
No, young Thomas, God has given up on Jerusalem.
I should run you through.
You'll do no such thing. My father has shown you great courtesy. It's like a lightsaber, isn't it? My father has shown you great courtesy. You would do well to show similar grace.
Swords drawn before the king's own men, are we to return to our prince with empty hands?
No, I have given my oath of friendship and fealty to Richard. I will fulfill his command.
Father!
Enough, Hal. I can see the way the tide turns. It is just a pity the King's Council is derelict in its duty. Visit my treasurer. He shall furnish you.
My lord.
This man dances on the knife edge of treason, and when he is lost, these lands may be too.
The boy is quick to anger and extremity. He will be no friend to the crown. Mark it down, Oliver. These lands shall be the birthplace of treachery before long. Could you see her when she stood up, or?
Yeah, she's in front.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I just wanted to.
Yeah, gauge.
Yeah, that's. I suppose that's important.
Yeah.
But we did get the audio, even if it hadn't been. I wonder if you should have even like held it to his throat.
Yeah. Oh.
So if we go,
I like that. I like that. Okay.
I think you wouldn't sit and sheathe and unsheathe.
No.
You'd have to stand because it's a bit.
Yeah, because it would get
Yeah.
stuck
Sitting
in
and
the...
sheathing and unsheathing is not comfortable.
You'll do no such thing.
Yeah, that feels threatening.
Swords drawn at the king.
And then
I felt.
Swords drawn.
Yeah.
Swords
okay.
drawn. Yes, the king's. Should we do any? Should we do any swapsies? Does anybody feel like, oh, I don't really get that one, but I'd be better at that? Like, could you do better than? Are you happy?
could I do better than?
If you swapped Oliver and Thomas, or no, I'll do Thomas.
Oh, okay.
You do. We'll swap.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So you're the Lord now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
you've seen what I did. You don't need to do it
I
the
have
same,
seen what
but
you
it's a
did.
good, you know, he's your sense
It's
of
the
the age.
basis.
Yes,
He's-
age.
He's the Lord. He's the Lord,
Got the chair as well.
and I
It
think
works.
you're on
Does
top of.
work.
So stay the same,
Okay.
but
Yep.
I'll be Thomas this time.
Mm-hmm.
And get
Okay.
ready. get this antagonism. Okay. So maybe
your voice would work for Thomas if he's supposed to be the
villain. If I did that voice again for Thomas.
Yeah, because if he's supposed to be the villain, it sounds quite.
Well, let's see where I can take it.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
Right,
and remember to. Yeah, it makes sense to still draw the sword at me because she says sword is drawn, but she wouldn't say that if she was like, oh, get away.
Okay. Yeah. Got it.
Okay, it starts with me. We don't need to do the first bit. My lord, forgive me for the bluntness of my words, but time is short and Jerusalem is defiled by the day. Therefore, I must ask, when will you think of the realm?
You come into my house and insult me, sir? Were this 30 years ago, you'd lose your head, man of the king or not.
And what say you on this day?
He asks more than he knows for a reason ill-considered.
Bringing the true word back to the Holy Land?
Not the dream, the attempt. Perhaps our king has forgot my story. Well, allow me to tell it to you so you might relay it to him. 4 years I spent in Constantinople, traveling twice to Acre and once to Jerusalem. That land may have birthed the Prince of Peace, but it is no longer holy.
I am minded to believe you have given up on God by your words.
No, young Thomas. God has given up on Jerusalem.
I should run you through.
You'll do no such thing. My father has shown you great courtesy. You do well to show similar grace.
Swords drawn before the king's own men, are we to return to our prince with empty hands?
No. I have given my oath of friendship and fealty to Richard. I will fulfill his command.
Father!
Enough. Hal, I can see the way the tide turns. It is just a pity that the King's Council is derelict in its duty. Visit my treasurer. He shall furnish you.
My lord.
This man dances on the knife edge of treason, and when he is lost, these lands may be too.
The boy is quick to anger and extremity. He will be no friend to the crown. Mark it down, Oliver. These lands shall be the birthplace of treachery before long.
It's quick.
Come. So,
Yeah.
that then.
I like the king. I like Lord Castlereagh. That's quite fun.
I really liked how you...
Quite fun.
it reminded me of Matt Smith.
Oh, thank you. I'll take that. Take that.
Yeah.
Would love to
Has
have
he
some of
has he
his
done that
roles.
kind of role?
Doctor Who, isn't he?
Yeah,
he was Doctor
he's
Who.
been in a lot. He started
Yeah.
with Doctor Who.
But was he has he been a protagonist in a medieval drama?
Not yet.
But
It's a matter of time.
if he did, he'd have done it like that.
He would have done it
Correct.
like that.
Correct. Yeah.
Just like that, yeah.
Well, maybe I'll
Probably
consider
a
him
bit
for the
better.
role.
Probably.
Yeah, if you can afford him. Yeah.
I,
Good one to go for.
well, I think once you've signed the contract and everything, that's somebody else's money.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't seem fun.
Matt Smith, he's not fun.
No.
But you're not looking for fun, are you?
Well, not really. I think I'm just looking for a good performance.
Yeah.
So,
You say that now, but when it comes to the
you-
Friday pub,
and he
after a
doesn't
long
go.
day of shoot, and he doesn't go.
He doesn't go to the.
Or he
So
does
is
go and he ruins it.
He's not fun because he doesn't go to the pub.
Oh, you
or,
think
But
it's a
he
square?
does go to the pub.
Oh, he goes to the
But
pub.
I
and ruins
think
it.
he sits there all high and mighty.
I'm Matt.
I'm Matt Smith.
You can call me
Don't
Matthew. You can call me Mr. Smith.
Yeah, yes.
Agent
Like-
Smith.
Agent Smith.
You can call me.
Dr. Smith. I bet
Lord.
he's
But
still in the doctor
He's
mentality.
not threatening at all, so
Mm,
he couldn't
so
do.
he's
He
the
couldn't
doctor.
do the Agent Smith. He's not threatening. He's just a bit.
He's not threatening, no.
No, he's like a
No.
puppy dog.
He would go to the. So he would go to the pub, and he would be.
Yeah,
Call me Mr. Smith.
Dr. Smith.
Dr. Smith.
But
Doctor
But why is
Who.
a doctor worse than a mister? You know, in many ways it's better because you've trained.
Well, he's still in the doctor mentality from Doctor Who. He's not even trained.
Oh, that one, yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
he's just method acting.
That kind
He's
of-
clinging to it, yeah. A title he's not technically earned.
So he's not,
I think that's why he's
No.
questionable in many ways.
doesn't have a PhD in
He doesn't have a PhD.
time travel or
No,
any PhD.
no.
Do we know?
I'd love a TARDIS. That'd be amazing.
That
Yeah,
would
I
be
wouldn't
cool.
mind.
Brilliant to have a TARDIS.
They did that with piano strings. They scraped piano strings and slowed it down. That noise.
Oh, they
Yeah,
made
that's quite clever.
That was in the
Wow.
60s.
Yeah.
And they kept the
Wow.
same noise because they really just like how
What
it
about
was.
the bit that goes?
What bits?
That's just you doing
Oh,
it.
that's the
on,
tune.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the difference because
Thing the
In the
theme
show-
tune, write the theme tune.
yeah, they have the theme.
Stone
They have the theme
theme
tune at
tune.
the start, but they don't have it like in the middle of the show. They don't play the theme tune.
No, no.
So if he
yeah,
goes in and
yeah,
out of
yeah,
something,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
then they just make the sound effect.
Oh, I see what you
And that
mean.
was
So
the
the sound
scraping.
effects
He's not
as
a
opposed
wrestler.
to.
So he doesn't come in with his theme tune.
Oh, that'd be
Yeah,
good.
that
That'd be a
would
good
be
episode.
quite cool,
Sick,
though.
yeah.
You know, in the
Yeah,
way
I'd
that,
watch
like,
that.
in Succession.
Who would
the
have
theme
win?
tune
David
plays
Tennant
every
or
5
Matt
seconds.
Smith?
Oh,
I think
Tennant.
Yeah,
Tennant.
Tennant.
Hands
He's-
down.
He's wiry.
Yeah. I mean, he lives in Chiswick, but
One of the
Yes.
things that you have to consider is that all the characters in the history of Doctor Who, all
Yeah.
the characters, including the Doctors themselves, have never heard the theme tune.
But what if they'd gone in the
I mean, in
TARDIS
canon.
and gone into another timeline
Where they're making a TV show
where
of their
they're
lives.
making a TV show that's pretend and that has the same theme tune?
I don't think
then
that's
they
ever
wouldn't.
happened.
But it
that's
should.
I
sci-fi,
didn't follow that.
so
They've never
So
heard
what
a
if they
theme tune.
time travelled to a parallel universe?
that's
Yeah.
literally what
Where,
I just
yeah,
said.
Where?
yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't. I
He
didn't- I
did.
didn't
He's
follow that.
too slow to understand.
Ah,
Yeah, they
yeah. So they go in the TARDIS, and then they
Time
go into
travel.
time travel.
Parallel universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in that,
Our universe.
they don't have a Time Lord. They just have a TV show.
But
Yeah.
this is like if
and then
they had
hear a TV show.
they had a theme tune for any one of your lives.
Yeah.
There is a theme tune for it. You would you would never hear it.
No.
You would never know.
There would be somebody playing you in an alternate universe in a TV show that has a theme tune, but you've never heard that theme tune, and you never could hear it.
What would your theme tune be?
You could just give yourself a theme tune in this reality.
You
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good question. What would
Yeah.
yours be?
WAP by Cardi B.
Yeah.
What was
Right.
that, an
Well-
actual song? I thought you were going to make up a tune now.
I could make up one.
Sitcom.
Flaps.
Flappity flaps, flaps.
Flap,
Flap, flaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
So that's quite light-hearted though. That's comedy. What genre would you be?
See, I'd want heavy metal.
Nice.
You know, big entrance. Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
What's your theme tune? What genre?
I feel like it would be like a piano and a violin.
Yeah,
I mean,
I was
what-
thinking
dramatic.
something quite.
But why is yours heavy metal? Because you said I didn't really mean like a music genre. I meant like if your life were a show? Because I don't want to
okay.
lead you down the wrong path.
Okay, yeah, no, you would have that.
It'd be like Curb Your Enthusiasm, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So what
that's
would
how
the
you're
theme
like.
tune be?
But with but I mean, you couldn't imagine that
Yeah,
with
yeah,
heavy
you-
metal.
You could that.
You just have to be a bit
Yeah.
like Mina, kind of push people in the face,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
What about yours? Like genre.
Genre-wise, I think it would be something that's quite peaceful, relaxing. Yeah, maybe a bit of like acoustic guitar.
Yeah, like
I can see that.
Maybe
Deer,
some
Deer Hunter.
didgeridoo or something. Some meditative sounds. And a gong somewhere. Gong. A lot to do with vibration, energy.
I feel like I'm going too quickly. Sounds like boring.
Yeah.
I wouldn't watch that.
What would yours be? Watching paint dry or
Silence.
silence? There we go. Yeah. Could have guessed that one.
I mean, there is a track that's 6 minutes of silence. You could
John
just
Cage.
license that. Yeah.
John Cage.
As the credits.
Just have like a chair creaking 3
Yeah.
minutes in. Somebody putting a glass down.
That's sneeze.
Yeah.
You know, a day in the
Someone
life.
scratching the whiteboard.
There's a squeak, isn't it, on a whiteboard?
Yeah, like
It'd be
in
like a blackboard.
a blackboard. Sorry.
Oh.
That's horrible. But on a whiteboard, it'd be like,
Yeah.
like when your hair's
Yeah.
very clean.
Yeah.
Squeak. Yeah, Day in the Life by the Beatles, which has the big kind of piano at the end. And then they told everybody, because they had to turn, so that they could make the sustain last really long, they turned up like all the volume in the studio so it would last longer and longer, and they said, but everybody needs to shut up, like be quiet, really quiet, because we'll hear everything that you do. And if you listen to it, somebody moves in a chair, somebody puts a glass down. There's no bloody telling anybody, is there?
God, people just
if
don't
the Beatles
listen.
can't get it done, then
I mean,
Then no one
because they can
can.
do the same kind of audio editing they can do now.
Well, I think the problem is, I mean, they could have done it again, but it's like, well, who do you blame?
Yeah.
Who do you blame? Oh, what? Oh, you heard that? Yeah, because we
Yeah.
said, don't make a noise.
It's not that hard.
But it
You
happens
say
all the
that.
time. You've been on sets.
yeah.
Happens all the
You
time.
tell people, oh, could you do this? Oh, no, could you not do that? Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Then you go, "Oh, action.
It's like herding sheep, isn't
What are
it?
you doing? But you
Or
can herd sheep.
controlling.
You can herd sheep.
Controlling.
If it was
Cats.
cats,
Cats.
herding cats is the difficult one.
Oh, yeah.